The fandom world has once again been shaken by a revelation so unexpected, so intense, and so emotional that fans around the globe are still struggling to recover. In a surprising and heartfelt moment, the executive producer of MV 2.0 publicly expressed sincere gratitude to Kim Tae-young. Kim Tae-young and Jungkook for their creative input, fresh ideas, and unforgettable sense of humor that helped shape the project in ways fans never imagined. But this wasn't just a simple thank you. It wasn't just about them showing up. It wasn't just about their visuals. And it definitely wasn't just another behind-the-scenes compliment. What truly shocked fans was the growing realization that Taeyoung and Jungkook may have played a much bigger role in the heart and soul of MV 2.0 than anyone expected. Yes, not only did they captivate viewers in front of the camera, they also reportedly helped build the energy, atmosphere, tone, and comedic spark that made the MV feel so alive, so fresh, and so impossible to forget. And ever since that revelation surfaced, one question has completely taken over the fandom. How much of MV 2.0 actually carries Taeyoung and Jungkook's creative fingerprints? And the answer may be far bigger than anyone was ready for. The night everything changed. It all started during what many fans assumed would be a fairly ordinary discussion about the making of MV 2.0, a behind-the-scenes moment expected to include the usual praise, light-hearted memories, and general comments about the production process. But then the atmosphere shifted. As the executive producer began speaking more deeply about the creative development of the MV, the tone suddenly changed. The room reportedly felt different. The energy became more serious, more reflective, and fans watching closely immediately sensed that something important was about to be revealed. And then it happened. The producer began talking specifically about Taeyoung and Jungkook's unexpected involvement behind the scenes. Not just as performers, not just as stars, but as active contributors to the creative process. The way their names were mentioned wasn't casual. It wasn't routine industry politeness. It sounded genuine, almost like the producer was still amazed by what had unfolded during filming. According to the comments that quickly spread online, there were multiple moments during production where the original plans evolved into something even more exciting after. Taeyoung and Jungkook began sharing ideas, reacting to scenes, and playfully reworking moments in real time. And the moment fans realized that, the internet exploded. The revelation that sent social media into meltdown. Within minutes, social media was flooded with emotional reactions. Fans posted things like, "Wait, they actually helped shape the MV? No wonder this project felt so different. I knew there was something special about the vibe. This explains everything." So they weren't just starring in it? They were building it too? And just like that, what started as a casual, behind-the-scenes discussion turned into one of the biggest fandom conversations of the moment. Because this changed the narrative. It wasn't just that Taeyoung and Jungkook looked incredible in MV 2.0. It wasn't just that they had amazing chemistry. It wasn't just that their scenes stood out. Now, fans were beginning to understand something much bigger. They may have helped create the very moments people are obsessing over. And once that thought entered the fandom's mind, there was no going back. Their ideas weren't small, they were impactful. One of the most talked about details from the producers' comments was the suggestion that some of the most memorable, charming, and unexpectedly funny parts of MV 2.0 were inspired or elevated by Taeyoung and Jungkook's own instincts. Not from a strict script, not from a polished boardroom concept, not from a carefully rehearsed formula, but from their natural artistic intuition, their willingness to experiment, and their playful, spontaneous energy. Taeyoung, known for his unique and often unpredictable artistic sensibility, was reportedly someone who would throw out ideas that initially sounded unusual, even random, but once tested on camera, they somehow transformed into visually stunning and emotionally powerful moments. Jungkook, on the other hand, was said to have a sharp instinct for rhythm, performance flow, and timing. He reportedly had a natural sense for what would feel impactful on screen, what would hit emotionally, and what subtle change could turn a good moment into a great one. And when those two energies collided, that's when the real magic happened. Fans were shocked, but not just because of the revelation. Of course, this is Taeyoung and Jungkook we're talking about. So naturally, while fans were trying to process the producer's emotional statement and the possibility of deeper creative involvement, another wave of chaos hit the internet almost immediately. And that wave had a very simple cause: their appearance. Yes, their visuals alone nearly caused another fandom collapse. From the moment the first clips and stills connected to MV 2.0 surfaced, social media became flooded with one repeated sentiment: why do they look this insanely good? Taeyoung appeared with an aura that many fans described as cinematic, dangerously beautiful, and impossibly elegant. His gaze, posture, facial expressions, and quiet charisma once again reminded everyone why he is so often described as a living work of art. Meanwhile, Jungkook looked sharp, intense, polished, and overwhelmingly magnetic. There was something so effortless, yet so powerful about his presence that fans couldn't stop talking about how naturally he commanded attention, even in the smallest moments. But what truly sent people over the edge was seeing them together, standing close, laughing, discussing ideas, reacting to each other naturally, moving like two people completely in sync. And just like that, the fandom completely lost it. Why do they look like the main characters of a movie? That was one of the most repeated comments across fan spaces. And honestly, it made sense, because that was exactly the energy they gave off. Not just two idols standing in the same frame, not just two stars appearing in the same project, but two people whose combined presence made everything feel bigger, more emotionally charged, and strangely cinematic. When Taeyoung spoke, Jungkook reportedly listened with focused attention and soft reactions. When Jungkook explained or demonstrated something, Taeyoung's expressions and playful responses immediately lit up the room. Fans watching those moments weren't just reacting to visuals. They were reacting to something more dangerous: comfort, chemistry, and natural creative flow. And once the producer connected that on-screen and off-screen energy to actual creative contribution, fans began to realize something that made everything even more intense. Their visuals may pull you in first, but their minds are what keep you there. The comedy element nitrogen monoxide one saw coming. Perhaps one of the most unexpected parts of the producer's gratitude was the specific mention of comedy. Yes, comedy, and not in a random or forced way. According to what quickly spread among fans, some of the funniest, most charming, and most memorable moments in MV 2.0 may have been influenced by Taeyoung and Jungkook's spontaneous humor and playful instincts. This wasn't about trying too hard to be funny. It wasn't exaggerated slapstick. It wasn't planned chaos for the sake of fan service. What made it work, according to fans and the producer's tone, was that their humor felt organic, natural, real. Taeyoung reportedly brought the kind of unpredictable, comedic imagination that can completely change the energy of a scene with one expression, one suggestion, or one unexpected move. Jungkook, meanwhile, seemed to understand comedic timing in a way that made everything land perfectly, knowing when to hold a look, when to add a small gesture, and when to let a moment stay subtle rather than overplay it. Together, they created something incredibly rare in a polished music video production: humor with personality.